Thank you. I'm so glad that all of you are here. I'm going to start with just something you said in your introduction, Justine, which is that you and Arthur wrote this film for Sandra. I just want to hear a bit more about that, because I know that the two of you worked together on your previous film, Sibyl, and Sandra has been in many different types of films. So I'm curious about what kind of role you wanted to write for her. What did you want to see her in?
Yes, I was obsessed by her, and I started another project with her, but I put it in the garbage because it was not so good. And I think sometimes it's not a good idea to write for an actress, because sometimes it creates very not good movie, And so we have to find the good one. And I think yes, she was in our mind when we were in the writing process. I think she's so ungraspable. I learned that word today, so I want to say it a lot of time. Ungraspable. So yes, I think it was yes. When you are doing, because it's a genre movie, there is a lot of kind of movie like this. So we had to find a way to create our movie, and we wanted to create something without too much effect, without additional music, without I'm doing something but I'm like duplicitous thing, So yes, I think Sandra helped me a lot for that. To do some very realistic thing, not playing like in genre movie, Okay.
Sandra, did you know they were writing a film for you, or did you only receive the finished script? What was that process like?
Justine told me when we were working on Sibyl that she's planning something, but she didn't know what, and I didn't know how big this thing, how much time we would spend together. So she sent me the script, and I read it. I think the first version was in French, so I read it in French, and I decided on the French version with my limited French that I definitely want to do it. So, yeah.
You refer to working within a genre. You talking about the courtroom genre? Or?
Yes, in a way, even if the movie is not perfect courtroom legal drama movie, but yes, in a way, and with many things that, like the kid who is blind, so you can say, okay, there is a lot of things who, renvoyer ça, sorry.
Which brings us back to different kinds of genres.
Right. The title of the film refers to a pretty well-known courtroom movie too.
Of course, yes.
So that was something you were working with, and
yes, that movie is very important for me.
Talking about the Preminger film, of course, Anatomy of a Murder. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. From Preminger, of course. I saw that movie 10 years ago, I think, and I'm very impressed by that movie because, of course, it's so modern the way they are playing in the courtroom, And it was, of course, not a model, a pattern for us. Yes.
I guess you were talking about just how you work against the genre in a way, and watching the film, I'm struck by how in most courtroom dramas you expect the courtroom to be where something is clarified, where the truth is discovered. But in this film, it seems to be where fictions emerge, and I'm curious about that. That idea seems to be very, very strong in the film.
Yes, I think it was at the beginning of the writing process. We were obsessed by we are create something that. Sorry, I switch in French just for one. Je pense qu'on était obsédé à l'idée vraiment de raconter un film qui était vraiment du côté du doute. Je pense que moi, en tant que spectatrice, il y a énormément de films en fait et de documentaires qui me passionnent quand on ne sait pas l'issue en fait. Et donc je pense que j'étais vraiment de ce côté-là. Et oui, je pense que plus on avance dans le film, plus en fait Sandra est opaque et complexe et nous échappe. Et à l'inverse de beaucoup de films, on a l'impression de savoir de plus en plus où est la vérité. Je pense qu'on a vraiment essayé de se situer dans l'opposé. Je pense que quand j'étais plus jeune, when I was younger, I was okay. Sorry. Yes. Sorry. Okay. I'm very coherent with the movie, but.
Just the first part of that answer. So we were obsessed with telling a story that would side with doubt and remain on the side of ambiguity and ambivalence. And as a spectator, I like to watch things that have these that don't offer a resolution in this way. So that's also what I wanted to offer. And I think Sandra's character, the more we know about her, the more opaque she is, and that's something that we very much put at the center of our writing intention.
Yes, when I was younger, I thought that the truth can emerge into the courtroom, the trial. And when I get older, I say, okay, it's the place for fiction, you know. It's two fictions like this, and the truth is in the middle. But it's not the place for truth. So we have to decide, like Daniel sometimes. Not always, but sometimes.
Yeah, I'm wondering how this question of deciding played into all of your roles. Like, I was struck rewatching the film that the first spoken line is like, "What do you want to know?" And I'm wondering how that idea sort of played into your performance. What did you need to know? And what did you need to know as writer and director? Like, do you need to know what more than what we see?
I'll start because. I'm a big fan of working with what is in the script. I normally don't need so much more information. But the first sentence you're referring to, I didn't realize it while we were shooting it, but it's like the thing that's like the headline of the film. The things were everything that I needed to know was there. It was a perfect script to me. All the complexity of the character was there. All the questions that would emerge were there. They will never be answered. So a lot of discussions were between us about questions that she couldn't answer me, that Justine couldn't and wouldn't answer me. And I thought it was fine, so that I was dealing with a person, with a character that just kept her secrets. And there was just one decision that I made, that I would always tell the truth. That is just the sentences that I would say would be true. That was the only thing.
I think the main thing was, okay, I know everything, but I didn't want to say it for her, because I think, yes, it's a whodunit in a way, but it's not just this. I hope that when people finish the movie, they overcome that question. Of course, they are, okay, maybe she did, maybe she didn't. But yes, the main thing for me was to say to Sandra, okay, play it like an innocent. It was very important for me. But I think, yes, of course, yes.
Arthur, you want to add anything?
Yeah, I don't have exactly the same answer. I'm not sure of knowing. I mean, when we were writing, it's not a question that we asked ourselves directly, or it's a bit strange, but it came a bit later. And the way that I could answer the question at that time was like, she might be 80% innocent or something, but it was not an exact science. And then recently I felt, when I thought about...
Don't say it.
No. I felt that we went through the writing process in a way that we could end up being in the same position as Daniel. So for me, it meant that we had to not know. It was not possible for us to know, because he was the central point of the film in terms of knowledge, in terms of will to know, and so he has to decide. But we are in the same position. I'm not absolutely sure that we had the knowledge better than him. I'm not sure.
And maybe she pushed him to commit suicide. There was,
Yeah, the answer is not. can probably not be that simple as yes or no. We don't know.
The main thing I think
Sorry.
it's the main thing it's in the argument scene. You know, he asked for more place, more many things, and I think he put her in a very bad situation with his death. So he win in a way.
Since you brought up that scene, I think we should talk about it. It's very important in the film. I think it's an incredibly written and acted, sequence. So I was wondering if, I'd just like to hear the decision to have a recording, to represent the recording this way, where it sits in the film, and also for us to be denied access to the visuals at the end of the recording. There's a lot of interesting choices, I think, in this section.
Yes, I think I remember exactly where we were when we had the idea. When you start the writing process, we have some desires. Okay, I want that, and we didn't find the problem. The problem is for after, and it was one of our favorite things. Okay, we are gonna tease that thing in all the movie, and okay, it appears, and yes, I think this movie is based on the lack of images. So you are frustrated, like the jury, like Daniel, when you are, I'm like this as a spectator. When I'm in front of a sound recording, I fantasize and I imagine the worst. So we played with that, in a way, and I think if it would have filmed, it would have. We just, it's a caprice in the movie. We go in the flashback, but I think if we would have filmed, if Samuel filmed that, I think it would have been not so inquiétant, so horrible en fait. So,
it would have been so jarring or so
sorry,
horrible.
yes, and yes, we of course chose to not showing that moment because we don't know who are fighting who, So we are in the same position. We are frustrated and we have to decide. And we have to take the, yes.
Sandra, could you talk a little bit about performing in that scene?
I enjoyed it. It's weird to say. I really did. It is very much related to theater. We had very long takes. We had 2 cameras. We were very free in our movements that we decided together before. So there was no placement from Justine where she told us, you start here and you start there and then I want you to do that. So we found everything out together. That's kind of our way of working, which I very much enjoy. Samuel Taze is a great partner. The argument was written in a way that I had never read it before, in its precision and the cruelty in it and the sadness in it. And so many times when I see a scene like that, what happens mostly when people fight, at least one person wants to fight, the other one doesn't. I mean, when people say, let's fight now, it's basically over soon, I think. So it's one person who has a problem and then the other tries to join, to calm him down or whatever. So what's missing mostly is the points where it drops, where it could be over. We all want it to be over, so we just had to follow these things, these energetic drops also. And when it's getting higher and higher in the energy, and when it really comes to the core problem of both of them, or of him, that she is verbalizing at that point, which is very cruel but true. It was just, it felt really, really natural to go that path. Yeah.
Justine, you want to say anything about shooting that scene?
Yeah, I was afraid about that scene, I think, before. Of course, because if we failed, it was a big problem for the movie. Because it's the only scenes where we can find Samuel, discover Samuel. So yes, so I was very anxious about. Of course, I'm not so fond of that kind of scene sometimes because it's a cliche, you know, in France, and not just in France, but people who lance des tomates.
Throw tomatoes at each other.
Yeah, and just, okay, you're an asshole and like this. So when we started to write it, I was like, oh, I don't like these people. Oh, I wanted to vomit it, you know, all the time, because I said to Arthur, oh, it's very ugly Parisian people, intellectual people. I was not in love with them. So I think we did it. We had a lot of versions, and so we were obsessed by, okay, we have to push the impulse things at the end. It's a battle of ideas, and it's a little courtroom in a little trial in a way. It's the repetition, the rehearsal of the trial. You know, I think in the real life it's not so high. You know, all the. Sometimes we are just human, and it's the impulse thing is going previous. Okay, I don't know the word, but okay. But so yes, I think it was yes. And when you find the time, we was like, okay, the time is universal. Everybody has problem with time, and the idea of somebody who's stealing your time, I think it was something. It concerned everybody, except the rich people, because rich people have somebody to take care about.
They're gonna die also, so they have a problem.
Yeah, of course. But for taking care about, kids and kitchen, okay. So, but yes, in a way, it was interesting because between us, we were not very agree. On n'était pas toujours d'accord, je veux dire, about the scene, so it takes a long time.
Can you talk a little bit about that process of working together? I don't know if people know, but you are partners too. So
that's it.
Now you know.
He's alive, so it's okay.
No, and what's more, we worked together. So Sandra and Samuel, they could do a lot of things, but not that. So.
But I think it's our last experience. We will not do it another time. But it was great.
It felt like the thing to do at the moment, and then the moment passed, and now we are very happy to be here with you.
The beginning.
No, it was.
I think the beginning was perfect. It was like a fairy tale. But
beginnings are always perfect.
But yes, of course.
The end is not so bad also.
No, seriously, we have the idea of the movie just 1 week before the lockdown. Yeah. So it was something to be in boxes like you. And so yes, it was something very strange to build that story with 2 huis clos, sorry.
In one same space that they couldn't exit.
Yeah. And yes, but it was at the beginning we were just talking, not writing anything, and after we were in different place, different room, and we just send emails with the scene. Okay, it's good, not it's not good, and it was like this.
Sometimes we also cooked and took care of kids.
No, the very different things. The different thing because when you work with somebody like you don't live with, it's different because you don't work the night, and sometimes we work night. But okay.
Yeah, and also when we started working with the first ideas and the first visions that we had, we didn't know that we would be locked in that place for so long and with the kids and all. And so I think that it's like we grabbed this thread and we pulled on it, and it well, it's the process of writing for everybody, but I guess the film, the project took us to a place that we were not aware that it would be talking about all this, and it's been long to write, longer than the other films that Justine is writing, for example, and yeah, we had to être à la hauteur.
To rise to the occasion of what we had set up.
It was very demanding, and it was very exciting also. But and the editing also was the same. It had to, it brought us to a place. I don't know how to say.
And it was always match between me and him, between because I have two producers, Marie-Ange Luciani and David Thion. It was always a match, everybody have to, yes.
Throw the ball.
Sorry.
No, I just have time for one final quick question.
Yeah.
Whose idea was it to use the steel band cover of the 50 Cent song that we...
No, I have to admit that it was not my first choice. My first choice, it was Jolene by Dolly Parton. But they didn't, they refused to sell...
Maybe we should ask them now. Huh? Say, hey, you don't want it now?
So, no, 50 cents...
Let's try.
50 cents was too expensive for me. But in fact, it was okay because they sold everything to the steel band, so it was okay. And yes, I think it's the only voice from the husband, The only scene when he's talking with music, He just put the music. And yeah.
I think that's all the time we have. So I want to thank all of you for this incredible film.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.